Hey guys, so today I thought we could do a video just playing around with some new makeup, things that I've bought recently, things that I feel like I've mentioned but I haven't actually shown myself using on camera. I feel like I haven't been doing very many just like get ready with me type videos recently, and I was in the mood to do one. So the main things I want to use today are some things that I purchased recently. I've tried them all a couple of times, so it's not like a first impressions, but it's just kind of, I just want to use them more and I thought I would do so on camera. So first one I'm super excited about is this UOMA Say What Foundation. I finally got this after wanting it for so long. I've tried it a couple times, but I'm excited to try that again today. The Milani blush in Luminoso I purchased in that same Ulta order. This is like such a old school blush, but it's so beautiful and perfect for this time of year. Also going to use this new Ecotools Bioblender, which is supposedly a biodegradable makeup sponge. And then a couple of things that I ordered recently in the Sephora sale. I only purchased two makeup items. One was the Supergoop Shimmershade Eyeshadow, which is something that's been on my wish list for forever. It's an eyeshadow with SPF in it, and I got the shade Daydream. And also the Marc Jacobs Highliner eye pencil. I got this because it's supposed to really stay in the waterline, and I got just the mini because it was on sale for like $8. And then for palettes, I think I mainly want to use the BH Cosmetics Summer in St. Tropez palette. It is newer to me. I feel like I've talked about it a ton, but I haven't really used it on my channel. I've already, applied sunscreen and everything. I've got the Kinship Self-Reflect sunscreen on. Loving that one. That's had probably about 15 minutes to kind of sink in. So next I am going to apply this UOMA foundation. I ended up getting the shade White Pearl T2W. I wanted T2N, but they were out of stock. And I think I also, I don't know, I could have gone with T2C, but that one might have been out of stock too. So we went with the warm one, even though I don't normally consider myself to be warm toned. I do have some warm undertones that come out sometimes, so anyway, this is a very liquidy foundation, you'll see. It might even be too much, but there's that. You can see it is a little warm for me, but I think it'll work. This is really nothing new to the market. I know a lot of people love this one, but I had just been wanting to try it because I feel like I've heard nothing but good things about this. So they describe this as a weightless, soft, matte, hydrating foundation. Like I said, I've tried it a couple of times so far, but not enough to really have much of an opinion on it. So they say adjustable coverage. For medium coverage, use sparsely. For full coverage, use generously. For extreme coverage, apply multiple layers. So anyway, basically just applying the amount that I normally would of any foundation. I am really liking this Ecotools sponge. I've always been a fan of their green, like original sponge, but this one is, I think I like this one even a little bit more. It's like very soft and bouncy. It's just really satisfying to bounce it on your skin. Have been having some problem skin recently. My breakouts have been clearing up, which is always nice, but I've traded that in for some extreme dryness as I've been adjusting to tretinoin. I would take dryness over acne any day though, like please. But that has caused me to kind of, be a little more particular about my foundation routine. But this does look really nice. Yeah, I do have some peeling on my forehead and my nose, but I don't feel like this is necessarily like making that look worse. So I am actually seeing what they mean by soft matte, which is interesting because the first couple times I used this, I actually felt like it was very luminous. Taking what's left on my hand and building that up in the areas where I do have some like acne scarring. Bring it down the neck because it's not a perfect shade match. So I mean, that really does look beautiful on my skin. I don't think I have paired it yet with that Kinship sunscreen, which usually that sunscreen is pretty glowy, but I guess just the way it interacts with the foundation, it just ends up looking a little bit more matte. But I actually, it's definitely a soft matte, and I do feel like my skin still has some life to it, which is nice. That's pretty high coverage. And again, it's funny because the first time I used it, I felt like I wasn't getting a crazy amount of coverage. Like it was definitely more on the light to medium side, but this time I got more coverage. So it does definitely seem to be a very like flexible foundation in terms of coverage, but I like that. That's really pretty. For concealer, I'm going to use my e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer. Kind of taking a little bit of a break from my Project Pan items because I feel like I've gotten into a groove of using them like every single day, which is good for my Project Pan progress, but not necessarily good for the rest of the products in my collection that are not getting used enough. So, but I love this e.l.f. concealer. Been really into just a claw clip. Whoa. Been really into just a claw clip these days. I am gonna contour with my UOMA contour stick. This is not new in any way to my collection, but I do love this contour stick. I'm gonna go ahead and set those under eyes with my e.l.f. Prime and Stay Finishing Powder. This is my project pan. Ever since I repressed it, I feel like it's taking forever to see any progress. Alright, so next for this Milani blush in Luminoso. Isn't that just such a pretty coral color? I do think it looks different than the original Luminoso, and I don't know if they just like, because it used to look more marbly, but I don't know if they actually changed the shade or if they just kind of made it more of a solid color. Does anyone know the answer to that? I also am going to try it with this Ecotools full powder brush. This was another thing that I purchased in that same Ulta order. Really big, fluffy, kind of egg-shaped powder brush that, I don't know, the shape just makes me really happy. And it looks like it would almost be too big for blush, but I don't think so. I like my blush to take up a lot of space, so. It is a very glowy blush, even just on its own. You can see it almost looks like I'm wearing highlighter, but I'm not. I'm in the mood to go to Target today. I thought I would use this Estate highlighter in Lit. I have been talking about this a lot, but again, I feel like I haven't really used it on camera, so I'm gonna use that. And I've been really into this fluffy e.l.f. highlighter brush. I think it's called their Precision Feather Light Highlighter Brush. It's a very like floppy, fluffy brush. And this is another baked product. Just like to lightly kind of dust it onto my cheekbones. I'm gonna be very glowy today between the glowy blush and this. Ooh, so pretty. Oh, I love this highlighter. What a hidden gem. Like, I hadn't even heard of this brand until they reached out to me. And a lot of the stuff that they sent I wasn't that into, but this highlighter is a total gem. Isn't that so pretty? Super cheap packaging though, and all their products felt really, really cheap, like almost feels like dollar store makeup, but I mean, if the product inside is good, I don't really care, as long as the packaging doesn't like take away from that. This Urban Decay primer potion, I really like the primer itself, but I'm not really a fan of this applicator that it comes with. I kind of just wish it was a regular squeeze tube, because I just feel like sometimes I get a lot of product on the applicator and sometimes I don't get enough, and I guess I could just squeeze it straight out of here, but I don't know. No joke, it sounds like there's about 10 sirens going off right now. Good lord, I wonder what's going on. So brows are done and I'm ready to hop into the eyeshadow. So let's dig into this Supergoop Shimmershade. I'm gonna be honest, I've used this once so far and I was a little disappointed. I mean, you guys know I love like really shimmery shadows, so maybe it's a me problem, but like, I'm just gonna swatch it here. I mean, to me, it's just a little dull. I just feel like it has hardly any like real luminosity to it. I don't know, we're gonna give it another chance. And part of it could just be because this is like actually super close to my skin tone. But, you know, I love a good rose gold shadow. And I really like that it has SPF in it. I just think that's super cool. It's a great way to just incorporate more SPF into your routine. So, you know, it's just a little lackluster to me. I mean, it's not ugly. It's just like, what did I pay? What was it, $30-something for exactly? I guess mainly just for the SPF. And it has a combination of octisalate and zinc oxide, so it's a combo mineral and chemical. I don't notice any like burning or stinging on my eyes, so that's great. So this may just be something that you kind of, you know, if you're going to be outside all day but you still want to wear a little bit of makeup, just kind of slap it on and, you know, you're at least getting some additional sun protection. Do you see what I mean though? It's just a little dull. Like there's not a whole lot of reflectiveness to it. I don't necessarily need it to be like foiled or metallic, but you know, would a little more shimmer hurt? Maybe it's just the shade. Maybe some of the other shades are more, you know, pack a little bit more of a punch, and obviously that would make a nice like one and done shadow look, but I'm gonna keep going. I want to dip into this Summer in St. Tropez palette that I've been raving about nonstop. This shade Sand already has a huge dip in it because it's just a perfect like starting out the crease shade, as I like to call it. Transition shade, I guess you could say. Definitely the mattes in here are a little powdery. I don't really mind that because, you know, I find them very easy to work with, easy to blend. There's a sticker on this mirror that I would like to get off. It's just kind of hard to remove. But then again, I haven't tried very hard. Oh, there we go. That wasn't that hard. Well, what do you know? That makes it a lot easier to use the mirror. Like, this sand shade is a shade that I wouldn't be at all surprised if I hit pan on it this year. Like, it's just so useful. All right, I want to put some of Beach Club, which is this, like, I don't know, medium mauve-y shimmer. And I really like to apply these shimmers with my finger, but I'm just gonna apply that to the outer half of my lid. Ooh, wow. Okay, so that, I will say that Supergoop shadow made a really nice base for that shimmer. Although it's almost looking a little wrinkly. You know how that can happen when you layer too many like shimmery shadows or foiled shadows on top of each other? They can start to look a little wrinkly. I feel like I'm getting a little bit of that effect right now. But I mean, that is a gorgeous color. Next, I want to take Coastline, which turns out to be a really great replacement for ColourPop Glass Bowl, which is one of the single shadows that I had to toss recently. Actually, it's coming off a little bit more green than Glass Bowl, but I mean, it still kind of like has a similar function for me. Wasn't really sure where this look was going to go, but I feel like this is very simple and springy and warm. All right, I'm going to take some of Marina, which is this lighter shimmery pink, and just tap that into my inner corner. The shimmers in this palette are absolutely gorgeous. And notice I didn't even use my NYX glitter primer. Just didn't really feel like it was necessary to put another layer if I was using this cream shadow. I'm just going to take some more of Sand and use that on my lower lash line. I am going to use a little bit of this e.l.f. Dewy Setting Mist. Kind of trying to unofficially pan this. I always cover my hair. I don't really feel like this look needs eyeliner, but since I wanted to use some of these newer products, I am going to use this Marc Jacobs Highliner Gel Eye Crayon. It is retractable. It feels so like luxe compared to, you know, most eye pencils I've used. And I'm going to, I guess I'm going to tightline with this. I have used this a couple times, and I don't really feel like I see the hype. I don't feel like it's completely budge proof like I've heard people say, in the waterline specifically. It certainly doesn't stay looking as black as it looks right now in my tight line all day. I'm just going to do some mascara. This is the ABH Lash Brag. Not really a fan of this mascara, but I'm just using it up. And then just using the Undone Indie Lash on my bottom lashes. One of the newest lip products in my collection, I've had it for like a few months now, but this is the Mented Peach Lip Pencil. Really loving this. Didn't realize how much I needed a peach lip liner in my life, but it's perfect for these kind of warm, springy, and summery looks. And then I just feel like this look calls for like a light nude lipstick. I always like pairing a light nude with like a warm look like this. So this is the e.l.f. Seriously Satin Lipstick in Cream. I actually just ordered another couple of shades of this. I ordered Nectar and Persimmon because I always see Kelly Gooch wearing those and they look so good on her. And they look like two shades that I didn't really have in my collection. So even though I don't love the formula in a light color like this, I'm kind of curious to try it in some slightly deeper shades. See if maybe I like it more. This light shade is fine. It's a really pretty color. I just feel like I always need to top it with a gloss. Otherwise it looks a little too dry. And the gloss I'm going to top it with is the e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss in Pink Cosmo. This is the one that I always seem to reach for when I just want like a light milky gloss. So that is, I think that's the finished look. As far as that UOMA foundation, I think it looks really nice on my skin. I like how lightweight it is. That is a huge pro for me. Getting a little bit of settling into my smile lines, but what else is new? But I really do feel like overall the finish, it's a nice, just like, I wouldn't even necessarily call it matte. I would call it skin-like. Like it's not overly luminous, but it's not like flat matte either, just somewhere in the middle. And I do think it depends a lot on what I have under it, what sunscreen I have under it, what primer I have under it if I have one on, because I have worn it some days where I felt like it looks really glowy, but today it just looks very natural and skin-like. So I feel like it's a little bit blurring in those pore areas, which is always a huge bonus. So really liking that. Loving the Milani blush. Such a beautiful color. I really didn't have anything quite like this. The Marc Jacobs Highliner and the Supergoop Shimmershade, neither of these are really like blowing me away, but they're both fine. Just maybe not quite what I like built them up to be in my head. So not crazy about those. And then, I mean, you guys already know how I feel about this BH Cosmetics palette. I love it so much, and I hadn't done a look like this yet, but that is so pretty. There's just so many different directions you can go with this palette. Even though I've used it a ton, I feel like I've barely even scratched the surface. Like, what am I gonna do with this like ketchup red? I haven't even thought about that. But yeah, I think that is pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this just fun little makeup playtime. If you did, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed already, I'd love to see you again soon. I upload 2 to 3 videos every week, and hopefully I'll talk to you very soon in my next video. Bye.